What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel on this lovely Tuesday, March the 11th. That's right, as you can see, this is the first time on this property since the end of last season. And the keynote for this video is I did this sugar honey iced tea to myself. That's right, I did this sugar honey iced tea to myself. And if you're not familiar with sugar honey iced tea is, take the first letter out of each word and you'll figure it out. But let's get into it, guys. Again, getting back on this property for the first time since the 2024 season concluded. And as you can see, every single leaf from every tree is on the ground on this property. And therefore that leads to me having to, number one, it's going to add a little bit more time on this property than normal. Number two, I did this sugar honey iced tea to myself. And I keep saying that because, guys, I did not stand strong enough on my words of trying to push the once a month wintertime visits as I started pushing for in my videos. And the reason being is because I kind of took things lightly and I didn't want to be, a mosquito and keep nagging someone. Well, today, after touching this property for the first time in a while and seeing exactly how many leaves, yet again, because this will be year 3 or 4 on this property, how thick they are, I'm going to have to a little bit more assertively, say, hey, one time in the winter, allow me to come out and, just take care of these leaves. Because, guys, these leaf cleanups right here, when they're not priced correctly, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And that's what I vaguely pretty much did. And I cannot be mad at the customer because, the customer only does what the, provider allows. And, I just did not stand firm enough in saying, hey, allow me to come out one time during the winter months to make sure these leaves are handled. Therefore, when the spring and summertime comes on in, more so the spring, because that's the first time I'll touch the property, these leaves will not be as bad as they are on me, when my first time returning to the property. Now, granted, it did rain Monday, prior to me doing this, so it had a lot of those leaves compacted and wet and heavy already, on top of all of the rain and everything that we got in the past. Because we've had a lot of rain on and off throughout the last couple of weeks, and we also had a lot of a dry spell. But you guys know it with leaves, once that moisture gets in them, unless it's in pretty heavy sunlight, it's just going to hold that moisture through and through. And I think that's some of the problem that I faced here today. So as you see this video go by, you'll see my tactics, that I normally do when I get ready to do a leaf cleanup. And another thing that kind of made this job complicated and makes any leaf job complicated are chain link fences. The wooden fence that you can see in this video, you can go up beside it, blow, and the leaves will keep it moving, and they're out of the way. A chain link fence, if it's not completely leveled to the ground, if it's not, to the point to where it's not, in a position to not bound up leaves at the bottom of it, which is very, very rare, you're going to run into the problem of leaves piling up at the bottom of a chain link fence, and they're not going to go through those fences as easy. Now, you may go to some properties where the chain link fence is kind of uneven and it's not touching the ground and the leaves can slip up under it. Or you can go to some of those chain link fences where, where the opening is in the perfect position to where you can take the blower and blow them out and keep it going. But in this, situation here, I didn't really have that luxury. I have about a 3-foot walk space in between each property, the neighbor and this property. And I really don't have a whole lot of places that where I can blow these leaves at, easy enough for me to not have, as much time blowing as I want to. Chain link fences, they'll catch the leaves at the bottom of them and they'll get intertwined in them, and you gotta sometimes bend over, use your hands to get them undone. It's just, guys, you get what I'm saying about a chain link fence. All of that stuff comes into play when you're actually pricing these jobs. So the takeaway from this is, and you've heard it 1,000 times, you hear it 1,001 on my channel today, stand firm on your word, because this property normally takes me about 45 minutes in total. That's the regular services across the board. But when it comes to this leaf cleanup and getting everything neat and looking good and in order, for the season, it took me about 2 hours. And I'm not ashamed to say I was not, compensated for my time. And that's 100% my fault. I cannot blame my customer. I can only blame myself. But this year, I am planning on offering that service a little bit more, pushing of offering it. Hey, look, I know the season normally dies down in, November, December in this area, but the leaves are going to fall until the last one drops. If you allow me to come out and handle these leaves and get everything in order before the next season, I greatly appreciate it. It'll be a once a month, the normal price of me, just mowing. But next season, if, that's something that you don't want me to do, then it's going to have to be a cleanup fee, for that first time visit. I just can't continue to do, 2 hours on a property and only get paid, my normal rate. So guys, take that from me. Sometimes a hard lesson is learned, out in the field. That's the only way you gain experience and knowledge on certain things. So I hope you take something away from what I'm saying here, guys. Stay tuned. I'll chime back in here shortly. And I haven't forgotten. If you find yourself returning to the channel and have not subscribed, perfect time to do it. If you like this video and the content that you're going to see until it's concluded here in a few more moments, hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate both actions. Simon from Grant's Lawn Care. I'll catch y'all in a few more minutes. So guys, as this video continues, I just want to leave you with a few more, key points. I guess that'll be somewhat my theme this year, to leave you guys with key points and some of my takeaways and opinions for my business for the year. Even though it's right in the very beginning stages. But number one, as I stated a few moments ago about pushing the continuation of the season up until the beginning of the season type cleanups, making sure these leaves and everything are taken care of up until, every last one of them is off the tree. Well, to put more icing on the cake, my plan was to, as normal, get everything blown away from the fence line, get everything in a position to where, as you guys can see, I can get on my mower and go around and mulch and turn everything into pretty much fine powder and disperse it across the property, as requested by the property owner. Well, guys, I can speak openly about my equipment and tell you that my Skag Liberty Z, don't get me wrong, is a great mower. It's done me very well going on year number 5. But someone left a comment, I can't remember the person's name. It was a couple of videos ago, but they left a comment about, if I had the opportunity to upgrade to a commercial mower, take that opportunity, because this mower right here just is not strong enough for certain jobs. And the last time I was doing that, the video, matter of fact, was another leaf cleanup. And today, very well proved what that person said. I can tell a very big difference in this mower from when I first got it 5 years ago up into now, on the strength and the capabilities that it has. Now, granted, does the mower do exactly what I needed to do during the mowing season? Absolutely. I wouldn't trade it for the world if I had to, because it does do a great cut, it's reliable, and I've grown to love the mower. But however, whoever it was, I can't remember who it is, and if you see this video, you probably comment. They're very true. I do need something a little bit stronger when it comes to these type of leaf jobs. Now, granted, on the other note, well, Simon, do you have a lot of properties with a lot of leaf cleanup? I actually don't. But the thought of having a stronger mower, or more, pretty much a commercial mower, definitely comes into play. Could this job have been a little bit easier with a commercial mower, a little bit stronger motor, horsepower, deck-wise, all of that stuff? Absolutely. It would have went by probably a little bit smoother. It probably would have knocked 10 or 15 minutes actually off my time of being on this property. Now, that doesn't change the fact of my OCD of making sure everything is neat, tidy, and looking like there was never really a leaf on the ground here. But after I did get everything, pushed and mulched and blown into the areas that I wanted to be, as you guys can see here, it doesn't look like any piles were across the yard. I mean, the old Liberty Z got out there, and we went to town after we got the piles and everything knocked down into a better position for it to take care of. Another thing I think I did wrong this morning, I did not put my gator blades on here as normal. I came out of the barn this morning from yesterday, which was Monday. I did a yard Monday, my own yard to be exact. I didn't need my gator blades on my yard, so I ended up putting on the regular blades after I sharpened them again, and never thought anything about it. So this morning when I woke up, the weather was supposed to be nice. I was just ready to get out and get to it. 70 something degree weather. I'm ready to get out here and get on these properties because it's the spring rush. I don't want to get too behind, and I'm just really ready to get out here in the field. Now, that feeling will probably change here when the heat really kicks in and the humidity. But anyway, guys, the gator blades were another thing that cost me on this job. Now, if I had those, it probably would have did a whole lot better with the mulching side of it. I do not have a chute blocker, do not have a mulching kit, but if you watch my videos from the past, I really don't, to my opinion, I don't need them because the mower does a great job without all that stuff. But today, I just realized, two things: a bigger mower, and don't forget to have the proper blades on when you're going to tackle certain jobs. So I think I have one or two more yards that actually have leaves in them. I do something, I'm sure if anybody else does it or not, but when I'm out in my car, a lot of my properties are, easy for me to go by, take a little bird's eye view with my car. I'll say, hey, I can skip it this week, I can do it this week. I'll need to bring this when I go, I'll need to bring that when I go. I just go out and do like a pre-visit, driving by my car, seeing what my properties look like. I do that every season. I go by and see what I may need before I actually go and get my truck and trailer. Especially if it's a weekly or a bi-weekly client, I just go by there and take a look. No harm, no foul. It gives me, an advantage point on knowing like, hey, when I go this time, this is what I need to prepare for. So I know now, like I said, if push comes to shove, make sure I have the gator blades on the next time, because like I said, I was just ready to get out and get to it because Monday was a washout with the rain, and I just didn't think any more about it. I was out there doing lawnmower maintenance things. I was sharpening blades. I was making sure my fluids and everything were, in order. And hey, that was my fault this morning. So every time we go out here, and I'll just speak for myself, I said we, but every time I go out here, I learn something, rather for the better or for the worse. For today's lesson that I learned, make sure I put my gator blades back on. That's just the bottom line. And number two, I definitely got to stand firm on what I said about making sure I can do at least a monthly visit to avoid a 2-hour stay on a 45-minute property. So guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here shortly. Hopefully you guys are taking away something from this, and I'll get back before we close out. So guys, here we are at the close of the video. And again, if you find yourself back at the channel and you just enjoy the conversations, the dialogue of everything that I bring to the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe to it. And I guarantee you, all throughout this 2025 season, as long as I can do it, I'm going to bring the content. I'm going to bring the thoughts and opinions from my point of view to the channel, and hopefully it'll help you out on your journey. So guys, one more thing to close this video out. And I'm more so, let's just say, speaking to the guys and girls that are eventually going to take that leap into lawn care this season as a lawn care owner. Hey, do your research, study channels, pick up tips and tricks of the trade, because everybody has some type of green value to your business. You know, you can watch every single channel out here and you can take nothing away from it, and that is a-okay, because not everything works out for everybody. But for as many channels on here, and I discover new channels every day, everybody has something that you can take away and put on your business voucher or whatever you want to, the way you want to take it, to where you can be successful as a lawn care provider. You know, I go out here myself personally from year to year, and I talk to people that run their own lawn care business. I work with some on my full-time job, and the things that I learned from them, you know, I take it and use it, and what they learned from me or what they didn't know, whether if it's a type of equipment that I run or just something small. For example, you know, the tap caps. You know, we were having conversations about those and putting those on your speed feed heads, you know, stuff like that. I shared that information with somebody, and I told them, hey, you know, that, and even the Darwin's grip, you know, that you see I'm holding here with my left hand, you know, that kind of small stuff that some people just don't know about, or some people just haven't tried it out and they're waiting to get an opinion from somebody who's actually using it. Hey, that stuff comes in handy and it matters. So take the time when you're on these YouTube videos and learn something and ask questions and apply anything that you learn as necessary. The biggest thing a lot of people talk about on their channels is when you start out, you know, you don't have to have the most fanciest equipment, and they're absolutely right. You know, don't knock starting small and growing into a bigger business. I just watched a video a couple of days ago where the young guy, he actually has 2 Toro push mowers and some handheld equipment, and listening to his video, that is only his start out kit. That's what he's starting with. He is hoping to advance a little bit farther, get some bigger equipment, some riders and everything like that on his equipment. And hey, he has a game plan and he plans on executing it. So guys, enough of me talking. Again, I appreciate everyone who's made it this far in the video. If you enjoyed it, again, you know how to find yourself on my channel by hitting that thumbs up and liking the content, hitting that subscribe button so you won't miss a video, and turn on your post notifications. And Simon from Grant's Lawn Care, guys, I'm checking up out of here. Hopefully you take something away from this video. I'm about to relax and end the day in front of the TV, because these 2 yards, I actually did 3 yards today. The first one was a piece of cake. This one and one more wore me out because of not having everything in order before the spring rush kicked in. But we got through them. A lot of lessons was learned on my behalf. And hey, I learned, you know, stand firm on what you say, mean what you say, do what you say, and it'll save you in the end. But guys, I'm out of here. Be safe. Enjoy this 2025 season. I'll drop another video as soon as I can. Simon from Grant's Lawn Care. Thanks to everyone on my channel who's been showing love and support. And I'm out of here, guys. Peace.